Yeah, well, let's get on to the next one. Seattle, Buffalo. We were getting a little scared about Josh Allen for a little while
And
there,
he
man.
showed up.
Dude, he showed up major laser. And,
We're back on the hype train.
yeah, dude. Honestly, though, late into that game when they were down 21, Seattle was down 21, and then they kind of started rallying back. They got the first touchdown, and then they were going to drive down and score that second one, basically get it within 7 points. Dude, I think Seattle would have made that game within 3 points if whoever it was hadn't missed that block and then gotten Russell Wilson's strip sacked.
I think so too, because Seattle always finds a way to
Always
get back
finds
in.
a way.
Like, Russell Wilson had 4 turnovers, and it was still only a 10-point game.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a lot of teams can say, hey, our best player is going to have 4 turnovers.
But it's not. It's like when other teams are like, okay, we're down 14. It's like, we're done. People say die. It's like Russell Wilson never says die.
No.
That team never says die, and that's obviously a testament to his character.
Yeah.
But also Pete Carroll as a coach. You feed off of your coach, man.
Yeah.
When they are like, we are still in this, and they believe, your players never stop fighting.
Yeah.
And there are...
I would love to play for a coach like Pete Carroll, man.
Well, I think like Coach Potasic
Yeah,
is
yeah.
he's got a lot of that in him too. Where
He is, he's the kind of coach that you'd run through a brick wall for,
Right.
Like,
right, I remember back in the day, like watching his Vanier Cup speech when Mac won.
the best speech ever. I might watch that when I get home tonight,
Just cry.
Yeah, help me push through some studying.
I thought you were going to through some stuff I've been dealing with.
That too.
Oh man, but yeah. So that was a really, really fun game to watch. That was just like a true QB battle. But dude, Seattle's defense
It's bad.
is poo-poo, and Jamal Adams got worked by Stefon Diggs a couple times.
Okay, you
man.
know what? Watching that game, Jamal Adams is a great highlight player, but I think his ego is so big that he's always trying to make a highlight. Mm-hmm. And so he doesn't play smart. And, like, he's, like, he rushes the passer as a safety, and he's, like, really good at it as a safety. But, and he gives up a lot of big plays.
Yeah.
He does not play safety in the way that you want your safety to play. He's like a linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's kind of like watching Jonathan Abram play for the Raiders. Yeah. He's, like, always looking for the contact and the big hit, and, like, the play that's going to, like, be like, like, look down on the other guy.
But you can, if you get the running game going and you do play action, he's going to bite hard.
Right, yeah. So I think there's definitely some questions after this week about Jamal Adams in coverage, which is a pretty necessary thing as a safety in the year 2020, right? He's definitely not what Cam Chancellor was as a pass defender, dude. It's like Cam Chancellor as a pass defender, one of the most outstanding safeties I've ever seen. Like that NFC Championship against
the Vernon Davis hit on the sideline.
It was like Richard Sherman tipping it.
Yeah.
It's just like all around, man. He was such a rangy guy. And
he
for
was
someone
like
who
he
isn't
had all the
super big,
like
too.
he had all like the big hitting stuff that Jamal Adams has, but he also was just a great like deep cover guy.
Yeah, like he's kind of like the closest thing to Ed Reed post Ed Reed sort of thing, where it's like you're gonna bring the boom, but he's pretty solid in coverage too. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying Ed Reed is the best safety I've ever seen in my life.
Brian Dawkins is pretty close.
No, it's Ed Reed.
Weapon X.
Ed Reed.
Played in a way better team and better system, but
better teammates. Not for a long time.
Better teammates.
One good teammate.
Terrell Suggs.
Okay, 2.
Haloti Nada.
Okay, 3.
That's a pretty good defense. That's a third of the defense right there. But
let us know who you think is the best safety of all
time.
Put
it in the comments.
It's Ed Reed.
But yeah, we are veering. But Buffalo, Seattle.
Are you worried about Seattle big picture wise?
A little bit in terms of the playoff run, because I think the offense is you've just always seen it's like you need a solid defense to make it through the playoffs and not to beat the dead horse because everyone always goes, oh, well, the number one offense versus the number one defense. The defense always wins. Well, it's like, no, last year the Chiefs kind of proved everyone wrong.
Yeah.
Right or wrong? Right. So things are changing a little bit, and it obviously comes down to it's like not just being the number one offense, but having the number one dynamic playmaker, which it's Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson. Those are the two guys.
I would say that usually to win the game, you need to score more points than your opponent.
That is pretty profound.
Thank you.
I feel like that's something that you would hear on Monday Night Football's broadcast.
Booger McFarland. I got that right from him.
Okay, Monday Night Football is way worse than Thursday Night Football now. Thursday Night Football is going to be a good matchup this week.
Monday Night Football is a joke, man.
It's awful. 3 people on a broadcast is too much. I haven't addressed this, but I cut my finger today. That's a side note. It's not a marshmallow. But Thursday Night Football is going to be a good matchup this week. We never get to talk about it because we do our second recording on Friday, but Tennessee and Colts, I believe.
Yeah, that's a big game. Divisional.
Gonna be a good game.
All right, anyways.